The chamber was massive, built to accommodate species of every size and shape. Commander Lisa Grant stood at the entrance and took a deep breath. The air tasted different here, processed and filtered to suit 47 different alien biologies. It made her nose itch. "Stay close," she whispered to her team. Danny Price, her science officer, nodded nervously. Karen White, their security chief, kept her hand near her sidearm even though weapons were forbidden in the council chamber. They walked down the long pathway toward the center platform. All around them, alien beings watched from their designated areas. Some had multiple eyes, others had no eyes at all. A few were so strange that Lisa couldn't tell which end was the head. The crystalline being at the central podium spoke. Its voice came through the translation device clipped to Lisa's collar. "Commander Grant of Earth, you have been summoned to hear our findings." Lisa stepped onto the platform. Her boots made soft sounds against the metal floor. "We're here to listen," she said. The crystalline being's name was Thexalar. It shifted and light reflected off its faceted surface. "The Galactic Council has spent 23 standard cycles studying your planet. We have observed it from orbit. We have analyzed every aspect of its environment. Our findings are troubling." A holographic display appeared above the platform. It showed Earth spinning slowly, beautiful and blue. Lisa felt a pang of homesickness. "Your planet registers as a Class 12 hazard zone," Thexalar continued. "The most dangerous classification we have. We cannot understand how any intelligent species could survive there, much less build a civilization." A murmur ran through the chamber. Several aliens made sounds that the translator couldn't interpret. Danny leaned close to Lisa. "What are they talking about?" "Earth is fine." Lisa held up a hand for silence. "Please explain your findings," she said to Thexalar. The holographic Earth zoomed in, showing detailed data streams. "Your planet's gravity is 9.8 meters per second squared. This is nearly twice the galactic average. Most species would be crushed under such weight. Their bones would break. Their organs would fail." Karen frowned. "That's just normal gravity," she muttered. Thexalar continued as if it hadn't heard. "The atmosphere is even more alarming. 21% oxygen. This is an extremely reactive and dangerous gas. It causes rapid oxidation of metals and organic materials. It is highly flammable. Most civilized worlds keep oxygen levels below 5% for safety." A reptilian alien in the third tier hissed in agreement. Its translator said, "I visited a high-oxygen world once. For research. I had to wear a protective suit. The air burned my lungs through the filters. Furthermore," Thexalar said, and the hologram shifted to show weather patterns, "your planet experiences catastrophic atmospheric phenomena. Hurricanes with wind speeds exceeding 200 kilometers per hour. Tornadoes that destroy everything in their path. Electrical storms with billions of volts of energy. Temperature variations from -50 to +50 degrees. The hologram showed lightning strikes, swirling storm systems, and snow-covered landscapes. Then it shifted to show oceans. Your water bodies cover 70% of the surface. These oceans contain predators of enormous size and aggression. Some of your marine life can consume prey as large as our scout ships. The pressure at depth would crush our strongest vessels." Lisa wanted to laugh. They were describing sharks and whales like they were monsters, but she kept her face neutral. "The land is no safer," Thexalar said. The hologram now showed various Earth animals. Lions, bears, crocodiles. "Your planet hosts thousands of apex predator species. Creatures with claws, fangs, venom, and incredible strength. They hunt in packs. They ambush from hiding. They are perfectly adapted to kill." A small furry alien in the front row made a chittering sound. "I saw the data on the creature called Bear. It can run at 50 kilometers per hour despite weighing 400 kilograms. It has claws like blades. Why would evolution create such a horror? And yet," Thexalar said, "the predators are not the worst danger. Your planet harbors billions of microscopic organisms, bacteria, viruses, fungi, parasites. Many are lethal. They evolve rapidly, developing resistance to treatments. They can spread through air, water, or direct contact. A single outbreak could devastate an entire galactic sector." The chamber fell silent. Lisa felt the weight of thousands of alien eyes on her. "The magnetic field is unstable," Thexalar continued. "Solar radiation reaches the surface. The tectonic plates shift constantly, causing earthquakes that can level cities. Volcanic eruptions that darken the sky. Your planet is geologically violent and unpredictable." More holograms appeared. earthquakes, erupting volcanoes, floods and landslides. After careful analysis, the Council has reached a unanimous decision. Thexalar's body flashed with colors that the translator didn't explain. Earth is uninhabitable by any standard we recognize. We believe your species could not have evolved there. You must have originated elsewhere and become stranded on this death world through some ancient catastrophe. We recommend immediate evacuation and resettlement to a safer planet. We will assist with resources and support. The chamber erupted with sounds, aliens speaking in their own languages. The translators struggled to keep up. Lisa felt anger rising in her chest. She looked at Danny and Karen. Danny looked confused. Karen looked ready to fight someone. Lisa raised her hand. The gesture was universal enough that the chamber gradually quieted. "May I speak?" Lisa asked. Thexalar tilted its body. "Of course, Commander. We understand this news is difficult. You have lived on that planet all your life. You don't know anything else. But we assure you, there are safer worlds where humanity can thrive." Lisa took a step forward. "You've made one critical error in your analysis." "Impossible," Thexalar said. "Our science is thorough. Our data is complete. Your data is accurate," Lisa said. "But your conclusion is wrong. You said no intelligent species could evolve on Earth. You said it's impossible for civilization to develop in such conditions." "Correct." Lisa spread her arms wide. She looked up at the tiers of aliens watching her. "Then explain me," she said. "Explain my entire species. We didn't crash land on Earth. We weren't stranded there. We evolved there. Every single human being comes from that planet. We were born in that gravity. We breathe that oxygen. We survived those predators, those storms, those diseases. Earth isn't a prison we're trapped on. Earth is our home." The silence was complete now. Not a single alien made a sound. Danny stepped forward beside Lisa. "She's right. We have fossil records going back millions of years. Evidence of human evolution. Archaeological sites showing our development from primitive tribes to modern civilization. All on Earth," Karen added. "We don't need to be rescued. We're not survivors of a crash. We're natives." Thexalar's crystalline body seemed to dim. That's not possible. Nothing could evolve in those conditions. The gravity alone would prevent the development of complex neural structures. The oxygen would cause cellular damage faster than evolution could adapt. The environmental hazards would drive any species to extinction before they developed tools. Lisa smiled. It wasn't a friendly smile. And yet here I stand. Born on Earth, raised on Earth, I've hiked mountains in thin air. I've swum in oceans with sharks. I've lived through hurricanes. And so have billions of other humans. A small alien in the back rows spoke up. Its voice was thin and high-pitched through the translator. "If this is true, if humans truly evolved on a Class 12 world, then they're not like us. There's something else entirely." Thexalar seemed to struggle with the concept. Its body flickered through several colors. "The Council must investigate this claim. If humanity truly evolved on Earth, then we have fundamentally misunderstood what is possible. We must see proof." Lisa nodded. "Then come to Earth, see for yourselves. Walk on our world. Meet our people. And maybe you'll understand that what you call impossible, we call home." The chamber erupted again, but this time with a different energy. Not pity or concern. Something closer to fear mixed with curiosity. Lisa stood tall on the platform and waited for their decision. The research vessel landed in Colorado just outside Denver. Lisa watched from the control tower as the alien ship touched down with barely a whisper. Their technology was impressive, she had to admit. But they were about to learn that Earth had its own kind of impressive. 3 aliens emerged from the ship. Thexalar came first, its crystalline body catching the afternoon sunlight and throwing rainbows across the landing pad. Behind it came Skavara, a reptilian scientist whose scales were a deep green color. Last was Quell, who wore a full environmental suit because it breathed methane instead of oxygen. Lisa walked out to meet them with Danny and Karen flanking her. The moment Thexalar stepped fully onto Earth soil, it stumbled. Its crystalline legs bent at odd angles. "The gravity," Thexalar said, its voice strained even through the translator. "It's crushing me." Skavara was already on the ground, its body flat against the concrete. "Can't stand," it gasped. Danny rushed forward with 2 devices that looked like large vests. "We prepared these for you. Anti-gravity harnesses. They'll reduce the effective gravity by 40%. It took 20 minutes to get both aliens strapped into the harnesses and back on their feet. Quell seemed to manage better in its suit, which apparently had gravity compensation built in. "This is what you live in every day?" Siskavara asked, still moving carefully. "This weight pressing down constantly?" "We don't really think about it," Karen said with a shrug. Then she jogged in place a few times to demonstrate. The aliens watched in horror. "Impossible," Texelar muttered. "Your bone density must be incredible. Your muscle fibers must be under constant strain." "We're just built for it," Lisa said. "Come on, let's go inside. We'll start with the basics." They led the delegation into the research building. The moment they entered, Texelar began flickering rapidly. "The oxygen content," it said. "I feel strange. Energized but also dizzy." "Is this normal?" "For Earth, yes," Danny explained. "You're experiencing a mild form of oxygen intoxication. Your species evolved in low oxygen environments, so this is like being drunk for you. It should pass as your system adjusts, probably." "Probably," Escavara hissed. Lisa gestured to a large aquarium set up in the lobby. Inside, tropical fish swam lazily through coral. "Let's talk about Earth life. This is a simple display of marine organisms. Basic reef ecosystem." Quell approached the glass. "They're beautiful." "Are these predators?" "Some of them," Karen said. "See that one with the spots? It's venomous. Could kill a human with one sting. We keep them as pets." All three aliens stepped back from the glass. "You keep lethal creatures in your homes?" Texelar asked. "For entertainment? These aren't even the dangerous ones," Danny said cheerfully. "Want to see a shark?" "Absolutely not," Scavara said immediately. They spent the next hour in the laboratory examining fossil records and genetic data. Danny pulled up holographic displays showing the evolutionary path from early primates to modern humans. Skeletal reconstructions demonstrated how humans adapted to walking upright, developing larger brains, losing body hair. "This all occurred on Earth?" Texelar asked, studying a Neanderthal skull. "In these conditions?" "Over millions of years," Danny confirmed. "Natural selection. The weak died. The strong survived and reproduced. Earth shaped us. But the environmental pressures," Scavara said, examining the data. "Predators, disease, climate variation. How did any population survive long enough to develop intelligence?" Lisa pulled up another display. "We cooperated. We formed groups. We made tools. We learned to control fire. And yes, many humans died. Diseases wiped out civilizations. Predators hunted us. Starvation, exposure, accidents. But enough of us survived. We adapted." Quell's translator made a sound like wind chimes. "Your species had no natural weapons. No claws, no venom, no armor. How did you become the dominant life form?" "Endurance," Karen said. "Humans can run for hours. We can track prey until it collapses from exhaustion. We can throw rocks and spears with accuracy. We can plan and communicate. We're not the strongest or fastest, but we're smart and we don't give up." The aliens fell silent, processing this information. "I want to meet more humans," Texelar said finally. "Not just you three. Normal citizens. Doing normal activities." Lisa smiled. "I hoped you'd say that. I've arranged for you to meet some interesting people." The first stop was a climbing gym downtown. Jake Morrison was already halfway up a vertical wall when they arrived, moving with easy confidence. He was in his 30s, lean and muscular, wearing shorts and a tank top. "Jake's a mountaineer," Lisa explained as they watched him reach the top and rappel down. "He climbs mountains for fun." Jake landed lightly and walked over, wiping chalk dust from his hands. "Hey there. You must be our visitors from space. Cool." Texelar tilted its body to look up at the climbing wall. "You scale vertical surfaces voluntarily? For recreation?" "Sure," Jake said. "It's fun. Good exercise. I just got back from Nepal, actually. Climbed 3 peaks over 7,000 meters. The air's real thin up there. You get about half the oxygen you're used to. Burns your lungs, makes your head swim, but the view is worth it." Scavara made a strangled sound. "Half oxygen? That would kill most species. How did you survive?" "Acclimatization," Jake said. "Your body adjusts, produces more red blood cells. It's rough for a few days, but then you're fine. Well, fine enough to keep climbing." "And you do this for enjoyment," Quell said. It wasn't quite a question. "Love it," Jake confirmed. "Nothing like standing on top of the world, you know." The next visit was to an oceanographic research center. Betty Cole met them at the dock wearing a wetsuit and carrying diving equipment. She was in her 40s with sun-weathered skin and bright eyes. "Commander Grant," she said warmly, "and our alien friends. Welcome to the facility." Betty studies deep-sea ecosystems, Lisa explained. She works in conditions of extreme pressure. Betty gestured to a submarine behind her. I go down to 3,000 meters regularly. That's over 300 times atmospheric pressure, enough to crush most ships like tin cans. We have reinforced vessels, of course, but it's still intense. What's down there? Thexelar asked nervously. Life, Betty said with enthusiasm. Amazing life. Giant squid, anglerfish, tube worms near volcanic vents. The ecosystem down there survives in total darkness, extreme pressure, and near-freezing temperatures. Life finds a way even in the harshest conditions. This is madness, Skvara whispered. Your planet is trying to kill everything on it, and life just persists anyway. Betty laughed. I guess that's one way to look at it. I prefer to think Earth taught life to be tough. The final visit of the day was to a storm research facility. Ryan Bell was a meteorologist who specialized in severe weather. He showed them video footage of tornadoes, hurricanes, and thunderstorms he'd documented. This is what I do, Ryan said, clearly excited. I drive into storms. Get as close as safely possible. Take measurements, collect data. The footage showed a massive tornado, a dark funnel connecting sky to ground. Ryan's vehicle was less than a mile away, being battered by wind and debris. That storm had winds over 200 miles per hour, Ryan explained. Could pick up a car and throw it half a mile. Could drive a piece of straw through a tree trunk. Incredible power. And you drive toward it, Quell said flatly. Someone has to study them, Ryan said. Can't understand weather without data. Can't predict storms without understanding them. And yeah, it's dangerous. Lost some good friends over the years. But it's important work. Back at the research facility that evening, the three aliens sat in a specially prepared room. The gravity was reduced for their comfort, and the atmosphere adjusted. Lisa, Danny, and Karen sat across from them. I don't understand your species, Thexelar said finally. You climb mountains where you can barely breathe. You descend into crushing depths. You chase storms that could destroy you. Why? Lisa thought about how to explain it. Because we can. Because it's there. Because we want to know what's possible. Earth made us this way. It's a hard world, so we became hard people. But we also became curious people. Brave people. We push boundaries because that's what humans do. You're not like other species, Skvara said quietly. You don't seek safety. You seek challenges. We seek both, Danny corrected. We want safe homes for our families, but we also want adventure. Discovery, we want to test ourselves. It's not contradiction. It's balance, Quell's translator hummed thoughtfully. The Council will need to reconsider everything we thought we knew about life, evolution, and survival. You've proven that intelligence can emerge from the harshest conditions. Perhaps because of the harsh conditions, will you tell them? Lisa asked. Will you help them understand? Thexelar's body pulsed with soft light. Yes, but I don't think they'll believe us until they see it themselves. Your world shouldn't exist. Your species shouldn't be possible. And yet here you are, not just surviving, but thriving. You're not victims of Earth, you're products of it. Lisa stood and walked to the window. Outside, the sun was setting over the mountains. The sky was painted in colors of orange and purple. Earth is home. It's the only home we've ever known. And now we're ready to take what it taught us out into the galaxy. If you'll let us. The three aliens looked at each other. Something unspoken passed between them. We'll recommend full council membership, Thexelar. The news spread through the galaxy faster than light travel. Earth, the Class 12 death world, was inhabited by beings who had evolved there. Humanity became the subject of countless discussions, debates, and studies. Some species were fascinated. Others were terrified. Lisa sat in her new office at the Earth Embassy on Viridian Prime. She'd been promoted to full ambassador after Thexelar's report confirmed everything she'd claimed. The view from her window showed dozens of alien ships coming and going. Business as usual for the Galactic Hub. Except now many of those ships were coming to meet with humans. Danny burst through the door without knocking. We have a situation. Big one. Lisa looked up from the reports she'd been reading. What kind of situation? Mining colony on Kresh 9. Equipment failure. 300 workers trapped underground. The planet's geology is unstable. High gravity. Constant seismic activity. They're saying rescue is impossible. Karen entered behind Danny. The colony administrator just sent a formal request to the Galactic Council for help. Standard rescue teams can't operate in those conditions. Lisa felt her pulse quicken. And they want us? They haven't asked yet, Danny said. But they will. Kresh 9 is worse than Earth in some ways. Gravity's about 30% higher. Tectonic activity makes ours look gentle. The rescue teams they've sent already are failing. Equipment keeps breaking. People keep getting injured. Lisa stood and walked to her window. How long do the trapped workers have? Life support's failing. Maybe 48 hours. Probably less. Then we don't wait for them to ask, Lisa said. Contact Houston. I need our best people here within 6 hours. Karen nodded and pulled out her communicator. What are you thinking? I'm thinking that Earth just got its chance to prove we're not just survivors. We're helpers. 6 hours later, Lisa stood in the embassy's briefing room with the team that had been assembled. Pete Walsh was a mining engineer from West Virginia, a man in his 50s with rough hands and gray hair. Laura Kim was a combat medic who'd served in the Marines before joining the civilian space program. Chris Hayes was a rescue specialist from Colorado, younger than the others but with eyes that had seen too much. Here's the situation, Lisa said, pulling up a holographic display of Kresh 9. 300 alien workers trapped in a collapsed mine. The planet is geologically active with high gravity. Standard rescue equipment can't handle the stress. Standard rescue personnel can't work in the conditions. Pete studied the mine schematics. This tunnel system is a mess. Who designed this? They've got load-bearing pillars and fault zones. No wonder it collapsed. The question is, can we get them out? Lisa asked. Pete was quiet for a moment. Yes, but it'll be dangerous. Those tunnels could collapse further at any time. We'll need to move fast and smart. Laura looked at the medical data. Most of the species down there can't handle the gravity well. They'll be injured, exhausted. Some might have compression injuries from the cave-in. I can treat them, but getting them stable enough to move will take time. Then we don't have time to waste, Chris said. He looked at Lisa. When do we leave? Now, Lisa said. I'm coming with you. The council's emergency coordinator tried to stop them at the docking bay. He was a tall, thin alien named Velkos with too many joints in his arms. Commander Grant, you can't just take a mission like this without authorization. There are protocols, risk assessments, liability concerns. Lisa kept walking toward the Earthship. 300 people are dying. We can help. That's all the authorization I need. But the conditions on Kresh 9 are classified as extreme hazard. Even for your species, we're from Earth, Lisa said over her shoulder. Extreme hazard is what we do before breakfast. The flight to Kresh 9 took 14 hours. Lisa spent the time reviewing data and planning with her team. Pete studied the geology reports and mine layouts. Laura prepared her medical equipment. Chris reviewed structural integrity scans and planned extraction routes. When they entered orbit around Kresh 9, Lisa felt the ship shudder. The planet was ugly. A brown and gray sphere racked by volcanic activity and covered in storm systems. It looked angry. I can see why they're mining here, Danny said from the pilot's seat. Long-range scans show massive rare element deposits. But yeah, nobody would want to live here. They landed at the main colony site. The moment the airlock opened, Lisa felt the gravity hit her like a physical blow. It was noticeably stronger than Earth's. Her knees bent slightly to compensate. Behind her, Pete grunted and adjusted his stance. Feels like I'm wearing a heavy backpack, Laura said. I can work with this. The colony administrator met them at the landing pad. His name was Kesh, a four-armed alien with mottled purple skin. He looked exhausted and desperate. Thank the stars you're here, Kesh said. We've lost contact with the trapped workers. The last rescue team we sent down had to turn back. 2 of them were injured just from the stress of working in the tunnels. Pete was already looking at a portable display showing the mine layout. Show me the collapse zone. Where exactly are they trapped? Kesh pulled up the relevant section. Here, Section 7, Level 3. The tunnel collapsed at both ends. They're sealed in with limited air and no power. Ventilation shafts? Chris asked. Too narrow and unstable. We tried sending drones through. They got crushed by shifting rock. Pete nodded slowly. All right. We'll need to dig a new tunnel, parallel to the main shaft but offset to avoid the unstable sections. We shore it up as we go. Slow but safe. Slow might not be fast enough, Kesh said desperately. They're running out of air. Then we work fast, Lisa said. Show us the equipment. The mining equipment was designed for low-gravity use. It was too light, too fragile for Kresh 9's conditions. Half of it was already broken. Pete looked it over and shook his head. This won't work. We need Earth equipment. Danny, have them send down our mining gear from the ship. While they waited for the equipment, the ground shook. A minor earthquake that made the aliens panic but barely fazed the humans. Lisa had grown up in California. She knew how to ride out a tremor. That's the third one today, Kesh said nervously. The seismic activity is getting worse. Another big one could cause the whole section to collapse. Then we better get moving, Pete said as the earth equipment arrived. It was heavier, built for the crushing pressures of Earth's deep mines. Pete and Chris began setting up the drilling equipment, while Laura prepared a field hospital at the tunnel entrance. They worked for 6 hours straight. Pete operated the drill, cutting through solid rock while Chris and Lisa followed behind, installing support beams and reinforcing the walls. The heat was intense. The gravity was exhausting, but they kept moving. Every hour, another tremor would shake the ground. Twice, small cave-ins nearly trapped them. Once, a support beam cracked under the stress. Chris replaced it in seconds, his movements efficient despite the gravity. Finally, Pete's drill broke through into the sealed section. Stale air rushed out. Lisa shined her light into the darkness. "Hello?" she called. "Can anyone hear me?" A weak voice responded in a language the translator barely caught. "Help, please help." They widened the hole enough to crawl through. Laura went first with her medical gear. Lisa followed, then Chris. Pete stayed behind to monitor the tunnel stability. The scene inside was grim. 300 aliens huddled in the darkness, many injured, all terrified. They represented a dozen different species. Some were barely breathing in the thin air. Others had been crushed by falling rocks. Laura immediately went to work, moving from patient to patient with practiced efficiency. This one needs immediate attention. Crushed leg, possible internal bleeding. "You help me stabilize him." Lisa helped where she could, following Laura's instructions. Chris began organizing the healthier survivors for evacuation. "We can only take 10 at a time through the tunnel. It's not wide enough for more. Priority goes to the most injured." It took another 8 hours to evacuate everyone. They worked in shifts, carrying the injured through the narrow tunnel, fighting gravity every step. The aliens were amazed to see humans working so hard for so long without rest. One alien, a small furry creature named Pix, clung to Lisa as she carried him out. "You're so strong," he whispered through the translator. "How can you do this?" "We're from Earth," Lisa said, breathing hard. "This is nothing compared to home." The last group was coming out when the big earthquake hit. The entire mountain shook. Warning alarms blared. Pete's voice came through the communicator. "Tunnel's collapsing. Get out now." Chris grabbed the last 2 survivors and ran. Lisa and Laura were right behind him. Behind them, the tunnel they'd spent hours digging imploded, crushed by millions of tons of rock. They made it out with seconds to spare. Lisa collapsed on the ground, breathing hard. Around her, rescued miners were crying, celebrating, thanking their gods. Laura was still working, treating injuries even though she could barely stand. Kesh approached Lisa with something like awe on his face. "You saved them all. Every single one. I don't know how to thank you." Lisa managed to stand, though her legs shook with exhaustion. "No thanks needed. It's what we do." News of the rescue spread even faster than the initial reports about Earth had. Video footage showed humans working in conditions that most species couldn't survive. They'd accomplished in 18 hours what the best alien rescue teams couldn't do in days. Lisa's office was full of requests. They came from every corner of the galaxy. Colonies needed help with harsh environments. Companies wanted to hire human workers. Universities wanted to study human biology. Some aliens even sent marriage proposals, fascinated by the exotic Deathworlders. "This is getting out of hand," Danny said, scrolling through the latest batch. "We've got 47 job offers just today. Construction companies wanting humans for dangerous work. Mining operations. Even a circus that wants to showcase human strength." Karen snorted. "A circus? That's insulting." "I turned them down," Danny assured her, "along with the weapons manufacturers, the mercenary groups, and someone who wanted to start a human breeding program." Lisa rubbed her temples. "The attention was supposed to help us integrate into galactic society. Instead, everyone wants to use us or study us. Or fear us," Karen added. She pulled up a news broadcast on the holographic display. An alien commentator was speaking in urgent tones. The translator made his words sound even more dramatic. "These Deathworlders represent an existential threat to civilized space. They are stronger, tougher, and more aggressive than any known species. Today they rescue miners. Tomorrow they might conquer systems. We must act now to contain them before it's too late. The broadcast showed images of humans working on Kresh 9, edited to look threatening. Pete's focused expression made him look angry. Laura treating patients looked cold and clinical. Chris carrying survivors looked like he was taking prisoners. They're twisting everything, Lisa said quietly, making us look like monsters. Some people will always be afraid, Danny said. We knew this would happen. A chime announced a visitor. Lisa looked up to see Thexalar entering her office along with 2 other aliens she didn't recognize. Ambassador Grant, Thexalar said. Its crystalline body seemed dimmer than usual. We need to speak privately. Lisa gestured for Danny and Karen to stay. They're my advisors. Whatever you need to say, they can hear. Thexalar shifted uncomfortably. Very well. I come with a warning and an offer, both from different parties. Both very serious. The first alien stepped forward. It was covered in thick scales and had eyes that glowed red. I am Vexthor of the Krell Dominion. We have watched your species with great interest. Your performance on Kresh 9 was impressive. Very impressive. Thank you, Lisa said carefully. Something about Vexthor made her uneasy. The Krell Dominion is engaged in a conflict with several neighboring systems. Vexthor continued. We need soldiers who can operate in harsh conditions. Troops who don't break easily. Your people would be perfect. Karen's hand moved closer to her sidearm. You want to hire us as mercenaries? I want to offer you a partnership, Vexthor corrected. We provide technology, weapons, ships. You provide warriors. Together we expand both our territories. You gain power, resources, respect. The galaxy will learn to fear and obey humanity. And if we refuse? Lisa asked. Vexthor's eyes narrowed. Then you miss a valuable opportunity. Other species will fill that role instead. You'll remain a curiosity, a novelty. Is that what you want? To be studied and pitied? The second alien spoke before Lisa could respond. This one was small, barely 3 feet tall, with soft blue fur. I am Nixala of the Preservation Coalition. I bring a different message, and let me guess, Danny said. You want to quarantine us? Nixala looked down at the floor. We want to protect the galaxy. Deathworlders are unpredictable. Dangerous. Your rescue on Kresh 9 proved you can operate in conditions that would kill most species. But what happens when you decide to use that strength for conquest? What happens when your population grows and you need more worlds? You could take whatever you want and no one could stop you. So you want to cage us, Karen said coldly. Keep us on Earth, never let us integrate. We want to ensure everyone's safety, Nixala said. Including yours. There are species in this galaxy with weapons that could sterilize Earth from orbit. If they fear you enough, they might strike first. Isolation protects you as much as it protects us. Lisa looked at Thexalar. And what do you think? The crystalline alien pulsed with uncertain colors. I think both sides have valid concerns. The Krell see you as weapons to be used. The Coalition sees you as threats to be contained. Both are wrong, but both are also a little bit right. You are powerful. That power can protect or destroy. The question is, which will you choose? After the meeting, Lisa called an emergency session with Earth's leadership. The holographic conference room filled with projections from around the globe. The president, military commanders, scientific advisors, and representatives from every continent. We need to make a decision, Lisa told them. The galaxy is dividing over what to do about us. Some want to recruit us. Others want to cage us. If we don't choose our path, someone else will choose it for us. General Hayes spoke up. He was an older man, scarred from decades of service. The Krell offer is tempting. With their technology, we could protect ourselves. Maybe even dominate our region of space. Domination isn't protection, someone else argued. It's tyranny. And the alternative is letting them lock us away? Hayes shot back. Keeping humanity trapped on one world while the rest of the galaxy expands? That's not acceptable either. The debate went on for hours. Some advocated for military strength. Others pushed for diplomatic solutions. A few suggested withdrawing from galactic society entirely, going it alone. Lisa listened to all of it. She thought about Jake climbing mountains just to see the view. Betty exploring the deep ocean to understand life. Ryan chasing storms to collect data. Pete, Laura, and Chris risking their lives to save strangers. Finally, she spoke. We're thinking about this wrong. Both the Krell and the Coalition see us as weapons or threats. They judge us by our strength, but that's not what makes humanity special. Everyone fell silent listening. Earth is a harsh world, Lisa continued. It made us strong, but it also taught us something more important. It taught us cooperation, compassion. When a hurricane destroys a city, we don't abandon the survivors. We rebuild together. When disease strikes, we don't sacrifice the sick. We develop medicine. When others need help, we help them. Not because it benefits us, but because it's the right thing to do. The president leaned forward. What are you proposing, Ambassador? A third path, Lisa said. We don't become the galaxy's warriors. We don't accept isolation. Instead, we become the galaxy's helpers. We share our expertise freely. We assist species in harsh environments. We rescue people in danger. We prove through actions that Deathworlders aren't monsters. We're just people who learn to survive by helping each other. That's idealistic, General Hayes said. What if some species still attack us? What if they see our kindness as weakness? Then we defend ourselves, Karen said. But we don't start fights. We finish them. And what about technology? Asked one of the scientific advisors. We're behind most galactic civilizations. Shouldn't we try to catch up? Danny nodded. We develop our own technology. We trade fairly. We don't sell ourselves as mercenaries, but we don't refuse reasonable partnerships either. We maintain our independence while being good neighbors. The vote was close, but the decision was made. Earth would chart its own course. Neither warriors nor prisoners. Partners and helpers. Lisa returned to Viridian Prime and called a press conference. The chamber was packed with reporters from hundreds of worlds. Cameras captured every angle. This would broadcast across the galaxy. I have a statement on behalf of humanity, Lisa began. She looked directly into the main camera. We've heard the offers and the concerns. Some want us to become soldiers. Others want us to become prisoners. We refuse both, murmurs ran through the crowd. Lisa continued. Earth is harsh, yes. It made us strong. But it also made us compassionate. We survived by helping each other, by building communities, by caring for the weak alongside the strong. That's what we bring to the galaxy. Not conquest, not isolation, partnership. She pulled up images on the display behind her. Humans helping aliens on Creche 9. Human doctors treating alien patients. Human engineers teaching others about their technology. We offer our expertise to any species that needs it. Hostile environment specialists, rescue operations, disaster response, medical assistance. We'll work with anyone who asks, regardless of their politics or resources. We do this not for power, but because it's right. Vex Thor stood from the Krell section. You're fools. You give away your only advantage. Strength means nothing if you don't use it. Lisa met his glowing eyes. Strength means everything if you use it to help others. We're strong enough to fight. We're choosing to build instead. Nixala stood from the Coalition section. And if species use your help against you? If they learn your weaknesses and attack? Then we'll defend ourselves, Lisa said calmly. Make no mistake. We're not pacifists. We're not naive. But we won't strike first. We won't become the monsters you fear. Thexala rose from the council section. The council must vote on Earth's petition for full membership. Given this statement, I move to accept humanity as full members with all rights and responsibilities. But I also move for a probationary period. 1 galactic year. If humanity proves itself through actions, full membership becomes permanent. The vote was called. Lisa watched the display as votes came in. It was close. Very close. But finally the result appeared. Approved. 6 months passed. Humanity kept its promise. Human teams worked across dozens of worlds, helping with everything from natural disasters to environmental challenges. Public opinion shifted slowly. The fear didn't disappear, but it began mixing with respect and gratitude. Lisa had just finished reviewing reports from 3 different operations when the emergency alarm sounded. She ran to the operations center where Danny and Karen were already studying incoming data. What is it? Lisa asked. Danny's face was pale. Long-range sensors picked up an asteroid. It's heading straight for Viridian Prime. Lisa felt her blood run cold. Size? 15 kilometers across. Moving fast. Impact in 72 hours. Karen pulled up trajectory data. It's coming through the Vex Nebula region. Gravitational anomalies all through there. Navigation is nearly impossible. Can we destroy it? Lisa asked. They're trying, Danny said, showing her the feed. 3 alien warships were firing on the asteroid. Their weapons hit it, breaking off chunks, but the main mass kept coming. The problem is the composition. It's mostly dense metals, very hard to break apart. and every piece they do break off is still large enough to cause damage. Over the next 12 hours, 7 different species attempted intercepts. Each failed. The gravitational anomalies in the Vex Nebula tore ships apart, or sent them off course. The asteroid's density made it resistant to conventional weapons. Time was running out. The Galactic Council met in emergency session. Lisa attended, watching as species after species reported failure. The chamber that was usually full of debate now felt like a funeral. Thexalar's crystalline body had lost all its color. We must consider evacuation. Viridian Prime holds 7 billion inhabitants, 32 different species. We cannot save them all in the time remaining. So we choose who lives and who dies? Someone shouted. We save who we can, Thexalar said heavily. Lisa stood. There might be another option. The chamber fell silent. All eyes turned to her. A small ship, fast and maneuverable, could navigate the gravitational anomalies. Get close to the asteroid. Plant explosives at specific structural points. Break it into pieces small enough to be deflected safely. Vex Thor's voice cut through the silence. We've run those simulations. The gravitational forces would tear any ship apart. The acceleration required to navigate those conditions exceeds what most species can survive. Most species, Lisa said. Not humans, Nixala stood. You can't be serious. You'd fly through that? It would kill you. Maybe, Lisa admitted, but we have to try. 7 billion lives are worth the risk. The council erupted in debate. Some argued it was suicide. Others insisted they shouldn't rely on the Deathworlders. A few quietly hoped it would work. Lisa didn't wait for them to decide. She contacted Earth directly. I need volunteers. Best pilot we have. Best explosives expert. Best engineer. This is dangerous. Probably fatal. But it's necessary. Within an hour, she had more volunteers than she could use. She chose 3. Alex Turner was a pilot who'd grown up flying through Earth's worst hurricanes. She was 30 years old, calm under pressure with reflexes that seemed superhuman even by human standards. Megan Ross was an explosives expert who'd defused bombs in the deepest ocean trenches, working under crushing pressure and near zero visibility. Sam Porter was an engineer who'd worked in every extreme environment Earth offered, from Antarctic research stations to volcanic calderas. They met in Lisa's office. All 3 looked determined. You understand what this means? Lisa asked them. We might not make it back. 7 billion people, Alex said simply. That's what it means. Besides, Megan added, someone's got to do it. Might as well be us. Sam checked his equipment. Earth didn't make us fragile. Let's prove it. I'm coming with you, Lisa said. Ambassador, you don't have to, Alex started. Yes, I do, Lisa interrupted. I asked Earth to be helpers. I asked us to prove ourselves. I can't ask you to do this alone. They took a small Earth vessel, fast and heavily reinforced. It was designed for atmospheric entry under harsh conditions. Not ideal for space navigation, but it could handle stress better than most alien ships. As they prepared to launch, Thexalar contacted them. I've calculated your chances of success. They're not good. What are they? Lisa asked. 12% survival rate. Maybe less, Lisa smiled grimly. Better than 0. Besides, we're from Earth. 12% is all we need. The journey to the Vex Nebula took 8 hours. They used the time to review the plan. The asteroid had weak points, spots where its structure was most vulnerable. They needed to place charges at those exact locations. Detonate them in a precise sequence. Break the asteroid into manageable pieces. Timing is critical, Megan explained, showing them the calculations. We detonate wrong, we just make the problem worse. We need to be perfect. Then we'll be perfect, Alex said, running flight simulations. I can get us there. I've flown through worse. Sam prepared the explosives, checking each charge personally. Once these are in place, we'll have maybe 5 minutes to clear the blast radius. That's not much time. We'll make it work, Lisa said with more confidence than she felt. They entered the Vex Nebula and immediately understood why previous missions had failed. Space itself seemed to twist and bend. Gravitational forces pulled in random directions. The ship's sensors went haywire, showing contradictory readings. Flying manual, Alex announced, shutting down the automatic systems. This is all feel now. She navigated by instinct and experience, dodging gravitational wells and riding the currents of warped space. The ship groaned under the stress. Warning alarms blared constantly. Alex ignored them, her hands steady on the controls. Like flying through a Category 5 hurricane, she muttered. Except the hurricane is gravity and can crush us flat. They hit a strong gravitational surge. The ship spun violently. Lisa's stomach lurched as the artificial gravity failed. They were thrown against their restraints. Alex fought the controls, muscles straining. Come on, she growled. Come on. The ship stabilized. Alex grinned, sweat dripping down her face. See? Just like home. The asteroid came into view, a dark mass blocking out stars. It was huge, scarred, and pitted. Beautiful in a terrible way. Taking us in, Alex said. She brought the ship alongside the asteroid, matching its speed and trajectory. The proximity alarm screamed. They were too close. Way too close. But it was the only way. Sam, Megan, you're up, Lisa said. They suited up quickly. The plan was to use magnetic clamps to walk on the asteroid's surface, placing charges manually. It was dangerous. The asteroid was rotating slowly. One wrong step could send them spinning off into space. The gravitational anomalies could crush them or tear them apart at any moment. But they'd trained for this. Every human trained for emergencies in hostile environments. It was part of their culture now. Megan went out first, moving carefully across the asteroid's surface. She placed the first charge, locking it into a fissure. One down, she said calmly. Sam followed, working on the opposite side. His hands moved efficiently despite the bulky suit. Two down. They worked for an hour, placing charges while Alex kept the ship in position and Lisa monitored the gravitational fluctuations. Every few minutes a surge would hit. Alex would adjust. Megan and Sam would hold on, waiting for it to pass. Last one, Megan finally announced. She locked the final charge into place. All charges set. Let's get out of here. They climbed back into the ship. Alex immediately pulled away from the asteroid, accelerating hard. The gravitational forces hit them like a wall. Lisa felt herself pressed back into her seat. Her chest hurt. Breathing was difficult. The G-forces were intense. Alex pushed the ship harder. We need to clear the blast radius before detonation. 30 seconds, the ship shook violently. Metal groaned. Warning lights covered every display. Come on, Alex whispered. Just a little more. 20 seconds, Sam called out. They hit another gravitational surge. The ship tumbled. Alex corrected, but it cost them precious momentum. They weren't going to make it. They were too close. 10 seconds. We're not clear, Lisa said. 5 seconds. Brace, Alex shouted. Megan triggered the detonation sequence. Through the rear cameras, they watched the asteroid break apart. Not an explosion, but a calculated fracture. The charges detonated in perfect sequence, propagating cracks through the asteroid's structure. It split into dozens of pieces, each following a slightly different trajectory. The shockwave hit their ship. They were thrown forward. Lisa's head cracked against her console. Blood ran down her face. The ship spun out of control. Alarm screamed. Systems failed. Alex fought the controls with everything she had. Her face was set in concentration. Blood vessels burst in her eyes from the strain. She pulled them out of the spin through sheer willpower and skill. Damage report, she gasped. Sam checked the systems. We're alive. Main engines damaged. Life support failing. But we're alive. Lisa looked at the sensors. The asteroid pieces were scattering. Galactic defense forces could handle chunks that size. They'd done it. Against impossible odds, they'd actually done it. Viridian Prime, she asked. Saved, Megan confirmed. All 7 billion inhabitants. They limped back through the Vex Nebula. Alex navigated on backup systems, exhausted but focused. It took 12 hours instead of 8. When they finally emerged into normal space, a fleet of ships was waiting. Medical vessels, defense forces, and thousands of civilian ships.